Another weekend of showing properties, another weekend full of open houses and people. I'm going to go over some of the articles that are out there today. A lot of them that are kind of funny-ish, but we're going to find out what they really are trying to accomplish today in Real Estate Daily. Welcome, everyone. My name is Troy, and every day we go over the latest news in real estate, housing, and the mortgage market. Now, before we jump into this, do me a favor. Hit that subscribe button. It really helps the channel out. Let's grow. Let's get the best 5 to 10 minutes in real estate on a daily basis. Now, let's jump right into it. Wall Street Journal, and this is kind of sums up about 4 or 5 articles today. It says the housing market momentum stalls as critical spring season approaches. Now, when you actually see the headlines, you're like, oh man, the housing market's crashing. I continue to see these types of articles out there. But again, it's somebody that's sitting in the 400th floor of a high rise, and they're looking at these numbers and saying, well, mortgage applications are down to the lowest. Well, guess what? There have been thousands and thousands and thousands of people who have already qualified for a loan. They don't need to requalify for a loan, and they're out there looking for houses. There's just not enough inventory out there. I'm not seeing house prices fall. In fact, after doing my weekly my weekly, not survey, but my weekly run through the MLS, we're seeing actually in the majority of counties here in Southern California, went up last week from the week before. In fact, Orange County is back at 1 million, and that's close to all-time highs. Why? The closings are up, and they're up significantly last week, which was the last week of February. Usually the last weeks of every single month, you see a lot of closings because the lenders want to get paid. And the lenders get paid usually at 2 or 3 weeks after the closing of the previous month. So they all rush and they try to get the closings. Closings are way up from any time this year. And we're seeing home property values, again, are up. Were they up? LA County is over 800,000 the first time this year. We're seeing Orange County 1 million, which is they haven't had 1 million in probably 7, 8, 9 months. So we're seeing those property values go up. Guys, we're not seeing all the FUD that we're seeing here. If I were to tell you to pick out one little graph out of all the information that's given out by all the different, NAR, CAR, the associations out there, Redfin. Well, I hate to use Redfin, and I hate to use Housing Wire and Zillow because they're so limited in what the amount of information they can give because the information is all just amongst what they see, not what the nation sees. Redfin is really 5% of all listings. Actually, they're less than 5%, yet they use that data of what they see in their Redfin listings, and they pump it out there, and they think that 3% of the market is really the 100% of the market. The National Association of Realtors, NAR, California Association of Realtors, are CAR. They're looking at all the listings, not Redfin listings, not Zillow, which is even worse because Zillow doesn't even produce listings. They're looking at the entire market, and they're seeing that the momentum is going up. Anyone that's out there that went to open houses, there's one open house I went to. I probably went to 4 of them this weekend. One of them dead, completely dead. But then that was in Redondo Beach, and that was a house that had been on the market for quite a while. They haven't really lowered the price. It just needed a lot of work, and they were too high. Went to another one in Redondo Beach, had 3 or 4 people there. I went to Torrance. My gosh, there's an $800,000 property in Torrance. Must have been 15 groups of people were there while we were there for 20 minutes. The whole street was full of people. Then I went to another one in Torrance at 1.25. They already had multiple offers on it. We were amongst 3 other groups that were there for the 20, 30 minutes I was there with my clients. Guys, there are buyers out there. They've already been pre-approved. It doesn't matter what happens on the weekly. That number or that indicator is mostly for refis. That's why it's gone down and down and down. Did we see a little jump in January on it? Of course. People went back out and said, hey, I was going to wait till the new year. I'm going to go get serious about buying a house. But the people that have been around for 4, 6, 9, 12 months who have been unable to buy a house because there's no inventory, they're still out there. They're still looking and they still want the American dream. So take that in consideration when you see all these articles like Wall Street Journal, housing market momentum stalls as critical spring season approaches. Guys, 2022 February, 2023 February, home prices went up. Yes, they went up all last year. There has not been a time in 2022 that home prices went down from the year prior. Okay, this is reality. This isn't me fighting it. This isn't, made up numbers. This isn't saying, oh, well, it's gone down. It hasn't gone down. They've gone up year over year. Has that number slimmed out between it? Yes, it's not going up 20%. It's not going up 10%. It's going up 3, 4%. But guess what? 20% to 3 or 4%, you're going to see all these media outlets and all these influencers say, oh, it's gone down 75%. Yeah, 75% year over year from 6 months ago or a year ago. It's still up. Yes, it's still up. Bingo. So before we jump into the next one, do me a favor, hit that like button. Boom. Here is a new home builder, Tri Pointe Homes. Tri Pointe Homes CEO. The resale market has been our biggest competitor. What do you mean the resale market? I thought the whole housing market was crashing. No, again, read between the lines. When the media wants you to look this way, when the government wants you to look this way, you need to be looking that way because their numbers are there for clicks. They're not there to give out truth and information. Same with our federal government. Anytime they say, look this way, you should be looking that way because that's what they really want. That's what they're really doing. Well, let's jump into the rates. Here we go. Rates last Friday as of 5 p.m. 30-year conforming went down 3 basis points. FHA went up 2 basis points. But again, the jumbos are crazy. And I am telling you now, I have several clients that are looking in that jumbo range here in Southern California, and rates are all over the place. I will say that once. I will say it 100 times. You need to go out and you need to shop the rate. Shop it. I'll go over 3 different scenarios. Three or 4 different scenarios. I have jumbo clients right now. They're looking at homes. The initial company they were with 7%. 7% jumbo loan. That was with 10% down, 780 plus FICO, no points. Then they were referred to a bank, US Bank. US Bank came up and said 6.375, no mortgage insurance, no points. Again, 780 FICO, 10% down. Okay. All right. 3.75. Then I went to a broker and the broker came back and said, I can do 5.75. No, that's on a 5 arm. Okay. No MI, no points. And then we get down to it. We're talking to, I told them, hey, you need to go look at, credit unions. And the credit unions out there are anywhere between, and you have to be a member of the credit union, right? 4.75 to 5.5 on a 5 arm. Guys, the difference between 7% and let's say 5.5, 4.75 is enormous in your payment. Please understand this. Right? If you're not shopping, you're not doing yourself injustice. Yes, I do agree that somewhere in the future, you'll be able to refi this down. No one has a crystal ball. If you asked me, not financial advice, yes, it's going to happen. It's going to start falling, I think, by the end of the year, if not sometime in the first 2 quarters of 2024. But in reality, okay, none of us have a crystal ball. Don't ever listen. If someone says they guarantee it, that means you need to run from them because that what's coming out of their mouth is not true. Well, thank you guys very much for joining me today. Again, if you have any comments, leave them below. I'm more than happy to go over them with you. Otherwise, if you want to get a copy of our buyer's guide, if you're out there and you're like a buyer's guide is down below in the section below. If you're a seller, you're thinking about selling your house, we have a seller's guide down below as well. Just have to click on the link, enter your email address, and you will be sent a copy of one of those immediately. All right, you guys take care, and I will see you mañana.